You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. Life is about risk. If you play it safe in life, you ain't gonna have much of a life. Life is risk. It takes courage to pursue your dream. I just did it. It cost me everything, but eventually, God is very good, man, when he sees you take a leap of faith. He supplies you everything you need. Now, it's gonna cost you something, but most people are not willing to pay what it costs to go after your dream, because you're gonna have to hurt a little bit. And most people don't like being uncomfortable. If you don't wanna be uncomfortable, please do not pursue success, because success is a very uncomfortable feeling.
Connection cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. It's either there or it's not.
Wow.
There's nothing you can do to build connection. You can build a stronger bond. You can create a stronger attachment to each other, but that still doesn't mean connection is there. And you see this play out in situations where you have people who could meet each other right now, have this amazing connection. Something happens where they fall apart. They come back together years later, 10, 20 years later, and it's like they never stop talking. It just falls right back into place. It's connection. It's a deeper thing that's occurring there. To me, connection is your spirit recognizing its match. It is something that is happening beneath the surface, all right? Which is why many people who have felt connection, you can't always explain it. Connection does not always line up with the logic of compatibility. You can be compatible with tons of people. You can have chemistry with tons of people. You do not feel connection with a bunch of people.
Sometimes we get stuck in these situations where we're seeking the approval of someone for our self-esteem.
Yes.
Self-esteem is about yourself, right?
Absolutely.
But we start looking to other people for our self-esteem, and sometimes we find ourselves looking in broken mirrors to get a reflection of ourselves, right? And the greatest tragedy is when you look into a broken mirror to see if you're pretty, right? And you're gonna let that person tell you about your inner qualities. And the greatest tragedy is when you look in a broken mirror and you're gonna change your face to try to look good in a broken mirror.
For everybody who has ever stated these words, I wish I would have known. I would have done this if I would have known. Okay. How about this? Perspective shift. Why not be proud of the person you were in the past? Stay with me. Be proud of the person that you were in the past that decided to keep on going throughout their journey because it led for you to get here on today. How about be proud of who you were in the past, because that person did not quit on the journey. That person did not give up. That person kept on going. That person kept on pursuing. That person kept on going throughout the journey, which has led you to this very moment.
Salvation is progressive, baby. Your faith is progressive. God takes you from faith to faith and glory to glory. You got to mature in some things, which means you got to go through some things and you got to face some difficulty. And the most important thing you need to face is yourself. Yourself trapped in a dark space to see what you're going to do when your back is up against the corner and what you're truly going to lean on. God, I'm talking to somebody in here. You got to find out for yourself. You ain't got it all together. And if you don't lean and trust on the arm of God, you're not gonna make it in this world. And so the text says that he comes along and he says to them, I'm gonna help you remember what I did in the past so that you can make a decision about what I'm gonna do in your future, because the future is not a destination, it is always a decision.
I learned to rest, and I learned to rest, and what I mean by rest is not just sleep and vacate, but I learned to trust God more. And I think that the Bible says if you sin against, one of the commandments, you sin against them all. And Sabbath and rest is one of the 10 commandments that I don't think we really prioritize. Look at your neighbor and say, you need to rest. Rest, I learned, is a weapon. Rest is a weapon of warfare. When the storms of life come your way, attack it with some rest. Attack it with him. I trust God. Attack it with though he slay me, yet will I trust. Attack it with I know that all things work to. Attack your storms and your problems with rest.
What does self-worth actually mean to you?
Oh, self-worth is my belief that I belong wherever I am, in whatever room or space that I'm in, and that I bring value to that space. That I'm not just there because someone else couldn't come, or I'm not just there because they didn't find someone better, but that I bring value no matter where I am. And I feel like so many times women go into a space wanting someone to validate their existence or for someone to give them validation and worth. And yet self-worth is believing in the value that I bring when I come into a room or space.
At certain times in a man's life, he's either a fool, he's a victim, or he's a king. The table is always full of excuses. But the king stage is when you realize, wait a minute, this is your table. Wait a minute, this is your room. You have to accept whatever you are letting into your life, good or bad. As a king, you can tell people, get out of your court. As a king, you don't have to accept any of those excuses. As a king, you have to know that you are responsible for your life, good and bad. You did that. So as a king, if something's not right, it's your responsibility to change it.
When God gives us real love, our first response is we reject it. You know, I just need God's love, but when God essentially tries to love on us, we reject it. We do that in unbelief. We do that in lack of trust. And we do that with lack of commitment. We do that with lack of submission. And essentially, we always end up running from God when he's the safest place to run to. It's a strange thing, but our mind needs to be renewed. But essentially, that's why people reject God. It's real love. And essentially, when we don't have our minds renewed, we'll reject his love. And we'll go everywhere else to find it. And essentially, we'll never find it. It's a horrible journey. But I pray that you guys understand that we need to have our minds renewed to receive the love of God. Period.
If you don't love yourself, when someone else says horrible things to you, a part of you is always going to believe them. So then it was like, okay, I don't want to believe these people. I don't want to agree with them on any level. I want to figure out who I am. I want to learn who I am, and I don't want to feel like I'm fragile every time I leave the house because I'm so dependent on what other people think about me. And I feel like I've arrived in a place where, maybe not every minute of every day, but way more than I used to, I have a tremendous amount of love and compassion for everyone else, and best of all, I have it for myself.
How to live your life in a way that you will not regret years of useless virtue and inertia and timidity. Take up the battle. Take it up. It's yours. This is your life. This is your world. You make your own choices. So pick it up. Pick up the battle and make it a better world. Just where you are. Yes. And it can be better, and it must be better.
I don't think confidence is something that you are born with. I don't think confidence is, it's a skill set. And I had no confidence growing up as a child. Then over time I realized, like, as a woman, as a girl in this world, if I allow myself to be hurt or if I allow myself to be affected, that's all I'm going to be. And so confidence is something I taught myself over the years. I started becoming okay with who I am.
Staying true to who you are is easy when you know who you are. And I think that I'm 31, and through my 20s, I had to really get to know myself. And I had a lot of like what felt like maybe carpal tunnel because I was just writing a lot about journaling, about who I wanted to be, what my goals were, and all these different things. And I think that just really knowing who you are and getting to know yourself is really key in whatever industry that you're in and whatever mountain you're trying to move.
I guess when you just like be yourself, you know, and in your most genuine possible way and are completely unafraid, that's when everything starts to fall into place. And that takes a while. When you let go and you're like, here you go, take it or leave it.
Whether you like it or not,
that's as simple as it can be. It's
Yeah.
like, why hold back? You own life. Just have fun and be yourself and don't worry about the rest. It all falls into place.
There's a lot of people here that are very interested in starting their own companies. Yeah. So what advice do you have?
First advice for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur is to be an entrepreneur, not to necessarily cogitate and study about it. Advice number 2 is that you should hire people who complement you, not duplicate you. So if you're an engineer, don't hire another engineer, hire somebody who can sell. So hire people who complement you. My last piece of advice, which may be controversial, is don't write a business plan. The ultimate business plan is a prototype.
I want to talk about dreams for a second. And in my case, literally a dream. It was kind of a strange dream. It went like, I think I could download the entire web onto some old computers that were lying around. That would probably seem pretty crazy to most people, but I stayed up a couple hours in the middle of the night doing some math, and it seemed actually pretty plausible. And that became Google. I'd like to encourage everyone to follow their dreams.
And today it's getting harder and harder to tap into our own wisdom because we are all so hyper-connected to our devices, our screens, our social media, that we're having a hard time disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with ourselves. What I'm telling you is to regularly disconnect from technology, to regularly unplug and recharge in order to reconnect with ourselves and our own deepest wisdom.
I finally get to LA. I have to pursue my dream because if I don't, what am I teaching my son? And I have to fight the good fight because people are telling me I can't. You can't do this. You can't. Are you crazy? You're moving to California with your son. You'll never make it. If you listen to people and if you allow people to project their fears onto you, you won't live.
To me, entrepreneurship is about creating change, not just creating companies. And the most effective entrepreneurs who I've met care deeply about some mission and some change that they're trying to create, and often they don't even start because they're trying to create a company. The entrepreneurs who I think build things that last for a long time keep going because they care fundamentally about the change that they're trying to create in the world, and they're not in it just to build a company.
Standing here with 19 championships is something I never thought would happen. I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope, and that's all I had. And it's inspiring for all you guys out there that want to do something and want to be the best that you can be and want to do the best that you can do. You just never give up because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence. So I'm so honored.
Worth, what it is that you expect from the world in response to who you are. It's very different from value. Self-value means how you hold yourself within yourself and what you expect as a result. In order to get to the worth, if you're not holding yourself within yourself as worthy, then what you expect from the world is surely going to hurt you.
Growing up, my dad used to encourage my brother and me to fail. So at the dinner table, he would actually ask us, what did you fail at this week? And if we didn't have something to tell him, he would actually be disappointed. I can remember coming home from school and be like, Dad, I tried out for this and I was horrible. And he'd be like, way to go, and high-five me. It was such a gift what he was doing. I didn't realize it at the time, but he was redefining failure for me. And so failure became not about the outcome, but about not trying.
It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. That's how humans are strong. Failure is an option, should be an option, but giving up is not. Never.
First day is over, and she said, you did a great job, but now you've got to finish up and you've got to take all the gum off the floor. I said to her, look, you hired me as a scooper, not a scraper. And she said, no, I hired you as an employee. You do whatever I say. I own this store. If I'd known that, I probably wouldn't take this position. She said, how about this? You're fired. She said, it means you get back on your bicycle, go home, don't come back here. I was so humiliated. But this is horrible. Whatever she says I have to do, I'm not going to live my life that way. I never worked another day in my life for somebody, ever again.
It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful in whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day. And I hope I inspire people all around the world to just be themselves, be humble, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life.
I am willing to speak up. I am willing to keep going. I am willing to listen to what others have to say. I am willing to go forward even when I feel alone. I am willing to go to bed each night at peace with myself. I am willing to be my biggest, bestest, most powerful self.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. I would urge anybody listening, anybody watching, to really, really look into what their definition of success is. Because it should be yours, not other people's perception, not their definition. Success to you is what it will always be. So a win is always a win when you know what it is to you, not what it is to other people.
When you're trying to run something at the scale of Google, you rely on other strong leaders, like learning to let go and really empowering people, at all levels of the organization. And as a leader, a lot of your job is to make those people successful. Less about trying to be successful and more about making sure you have good people, and your work is to remove barriers, remove roadblocks for them so that they can be successful in what they do. And so that's how I've always thought about it.
My best business decisions really have to do with picking people, deciding to go into partnership with Paul Allen, hiring a friend, Steve Ballmer, and having somebody who you totally trust, who's totally committed, who shares your vision and yet has a little bit different set of skills, and also acts as a check on you. It's not only made it fun, but it's really led to a lot of the success. So picking a partner is crucial.
I think everyone is different and unique, and that's a good thing. It's not bad. It's kind of the best thing in the world. You don't want to be like everyone else. What's special is the fact that you're different, and is the fact that you're unique, and that you can bring something to the table. So if anything, embrace that thing that you have that no one else does, and expand upon it and make it better, and tell everyone about it, and be confident in it. Because if you're confident and happy and smiling, you will attract confidence, happiness, and laughter.
We should all be helping to heal ourselves, helping to heal each other, helping to heal our daughters, the next generation, by really celebrating our successes and not going, oh, I'm showy, no, like, I'm confident. I want to share this with you. Like, let's cheer each other on. Like, let's champion each other. Let's show examples of what's possible for everyone else so that they're inspired and believe it's possible as well for them.
You may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. The fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things. And in order to change, in order to build a business, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary.
What are you going to do? When are you going to start doing it? This isn't about a convention, a conference. It's not about enthusiasm. Do you need to smile? Yeah, you need to smile. You need to smile like you're crazy. You need to smile when you're not winning. Okay? But you need to do something, folks. And you need to do it 10 times, and then 100 times, and then 1,000 times. And if you do it enough times, you're going to win. You're going to get to sit wherever you want in life.
Make them see you. Now, if you've ever been called dumb, unattractive, overweight,
unworthy, untalented. Well, so have I. Whatever you do, don't let negativity of people projecting their own self-doubts on you deter you from your focus. I know those moments are painful, and you're human, and it hurts like hell, but now is the time to turn those criticisms into fuel and motivation to become a beautiful beast.
My love for myself could not be based on other people. We spend time on everything to do with hair and makeup and clothes and on other people, looking at other people, talking to other people. But I felt like I wasn't spending any time actually thinking, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. And I feel like in a relationship, whether it's with yourself or whether it's with somebody else, you have to know yourself, to love yourself. We never get into relationships with people or friendships with people without knowing them.
I personally believe that it is our duty as entrepreneurs in this day and age to be the change makers in society. It's not just about building a business anymore. You need to stand for something and contribute to making the world a better place. Because today's consumers demand that brands align with their values and ethics. I want you to never feel like you need to compromise your values to fully realize your dreams.
One of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You know, like you want something to be true even if it isn't true. And so you ignore the things that, you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid. But if you just take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong and your goal is to be less wrong.
The most important journey I think all of us will go through is the journey in ourselves, to find our truth, to find who we are and what makes us happy. And in our culture, we are told that if we're beautiful, if we're skinny, if we're successful, famous, if we fit in, if everyone loves us, that we'll be happy. But that's not entirely true.
The most important thing about running a company is to remember all the time what a company is. A company is simply a group of people. As a leader of people, you have to be a great listener, you have to be a great motivator, you have to be very good at praising and looking for the best in people, and that's a critical attribute of a leader.
You have to dance beautifully in the box that you are comfortable dancing in, right? So like everybody's box is different. My box was to be extremely ambitious within the sport of basketball. Your box is different than mine, right? Every kid here has their own box, but it doesn't mean that your box isn't as beautiful as mine. Everybody has their own. It's your job to try to perfect it and make it as beautiful of a canvas as you can make it. And if you have done that, then you have lived a successful life. You have lived with Mamba mentality.
Most people do a lot of talking and most people don't put in the effort. There's nothing you can accomplish in life with the right amount of work. The challenge is, you know, are you willing to do the work? And the reality is most people aren't, but that's the opportunity, right? It's like people you know at school. Those people are lazy, right? They barely get through it, and so that creates opportunity.
Every stage in life can be an adventure. You don't have to be defined. If you didn't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. And if you didn't make it in your 30s, you can make it in your 40s. And if you didn't make it in your 40s, you can make it in your 50s. And just remember Grandma Moses. You know who that is? Oh, please tell me you remember Grandma Moses. She was a painter. And she didn't start painting until, I think, in her 80s. And one of the most prolific painters.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Never
so
too
have
late.
fun. That's what it's all about.
Almost tricked myself enough that every day I was doing something that was meaningful, that I wasn't addressing how I actually felt. Looking back now, I was at my most miserable because I didn't address how I felt. And now in business and everything I do, I reassess. But I didn't have a growth mindset back then. So now I'm just like, am I enjoying what I'm doing? What is my life's purpose? And am I doing that every single day? And I didn't do that back then.
There's a time in all of our lives where we want to get ahead, where we have an ambition, where we want to do more, where we want to succeed further. And sometimes we hit a wall and we don't know how to get past it. And we realize at the end of it, you know, hopefully you get to the point where you realize the only thing that's stopping you is you. And you can break through any barrier. But sometimes that's a long road. That's a hard journey.
I said is that when I graduated from college, Mark Zuckerberg was in elementary school. And the lesson you draw from that, and I really mean this so deeply, do not try to draw a straight line. And you know what really matters here is if you try to plan out your career, anyone who thinks you know exactly what you're going to do for the next 30 years, here's what I promise, or 40 years, it's going to be boring, and you're going to miss all the good stuff. Because all the good stuff hasn't been invented yet.
Be patient. Everything in life will go exactly how it's supposed to go. At times you will feel like an outcast, that you don't fit in, but you will discover that being your own clique will be your strongest attribute. In life, you're going to face many challenges, many moments of adversity. There are going to be a lot of successes and some failures too. Those moments are going to create your character, build your integrity, and they will become your beauty marks.
It is said that girls with dreams become women with vision. May we empower each other to carry out such vision, because it isn't enough to simply talk about equality. One must believe in it, and it isn't enough to simply believe in it. One must work at it.
Self-doubt comes at random times. You're not prepared for self-doubt. I'm one of them people who can get motivated very easily. But in the sense of getting motivated very easily, you can be down on yourself and have self-doubt very easily. Not thinking you're great enough, not thinking you're enough. But I was always able to pull from things or pull from people and allow them to bring me back. I always tell my son that allow the people around you. God has put these people in your life for a reason. So allow your friends, allow me, allow the people you trust around you to bring you back.
By far the best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, that, for example, communication skills. I tell those students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. You have to be able to get forth your ideas. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.
You know why you can't tell it to everybody? Because if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. God has shown you some amazing stuff in your life that you thought was brilliant. Then you took it to your friends and your family, and you shared it with them, and they shot it down. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. You know why they couldn't see it? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you.
One of the most important lessons in life that you should know is to remember to have an attitude of gratitude, of humility. Understand where the gift comes from. It's not mine. It's been given to me by the grace of God. Use what I have, use what you have to help others. You know, on your last day, you can't take it with you.
Yes, that is true.
But you can leave it here. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
All I have to say is that this is hard work. I've worked hard for a long time. It's not about winning, but what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. There's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going.
I feel like my issue growing up with finding self-love was when I was focusing on everybody else's opinion on me. And I say this all the time, but it's really about focusing on your opinion of yourself. It's hard to love yourself when you're always focused on everyone else loving you and what can I do to make this person like me or whatever the case is. Just focus on yourself, and that's all that matters.
Forgiveness, actually, if you really understand it, it has less to do with the other person and more to do with you. Forgiveness invites in love, invites in possibility, invites in prosperity, it invites in new thinking, it invites in creativity. So forgiveness is an expanding emotion. When you forgive, you're opened up for new things.
You know, the biggest influence that she would have, or the change that she would make, actually would be behind closed doors. You know, nobody would actually know that she had made this change. I thought to myself, well, that's empowering. I mean, how old-fashioned, you know, this idea that behind a great man is a great woman. What about being in front of that person or next to them or standing on your own?
If I'm miserable, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, if I'm cranky, it is my responsibility because it's based on what I'm thinking or believing in that moment. It's not the outside world causing me to feel this. It's what I'm doing up here that's making me have that reaction. And if I'm the problem, I am also the solution.
As people come into your life, you still have to make a decision every time of like, is this somebody that I want around? You know, and if it's somebody that is a good influence on you and is supportive of the life that you want to live, then keep them. But if they're not, if it's not conducive to your journey that you want to be on, there's no need for them to be in your life.
No matter what people perceive of me, I always shine through at the end of the day. I've had a lot of people try to tear me down, but I'm here. And I've always been myself, and I've always wanted that, and I've been graceful, and I've tried to handle myself with as much class, and it's only because I know how hard I work, and I'm not going to let any of that get to me.
So you've got 3 more years left at college, right?
About 4.
Okay, hear me out, okay? I want you to keep in touch with me.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my email address, because I want to finance those next 4 years in college personally, and help you, okay? Do it for you, and keep that dream alive one day of owning your bakery. And then when your bakery's open, all I want back is a loaf of bread.
Not everyone that's hurt you cares. Someone said forgiveness lets you off the hook. Why would you carry that with you?
Because they don't care.
If the person doesn't care, why are you tainting and infecting all the amazing moments that could happen in your life with someone that doesn't care how they hurt you? So how do you figure out how to let that go? And that takes work. It takes work.
It's self-full to be first, to be as good as possible to you, to take care of you, to keep you whole and healthy. That doesn't mean that you disregard everything and everyone, but you want to come with your cup full. You know, my cup runneth over. What comes out of the cup is for y'all. What's in the cup is mine. But I got to keep my cup full.
When you have goals and dreams you want to achieve, he said, ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
It's my belief that boldness is a stronger indicator of success than intelligence. Smart people think of all the negative things that will happen when things go wrong. But bold people think of all the good things that will happen when things go right.
Our beliefs create our thoughts, and our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings create our behavior, and our behavior creates our results. And so if you want anything to change on the results level, don't just go to the behaviors or the feelings or even the thoughts. We need to go deeper to our beliefs, because if we can handle that, everything changes.
Be focused, be determined, be hopeful, be empowered. Empower yourselves with a good education. Then get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your boundless promise. Lead by example with hope, never fear.
Life is a mystery. If you take away the mystery and everything was certain, you wouldn't need faith. Faith functions best when you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you knew everything, you'd have no room for faith, for discovery, for innovation, because creativity comes in uncertainty.
You don't want to be the stupidest guy in the room. It's a bloody rough place to be. So, and you probably don't want to be the smartest guy in the room either, because what that probably means is you should be in a different room, right? You should look at a place where if you're right at the top, you've mastered it. It's time to go somewhere where you're a little lower so that you've got something to climb up for.
When a man does not feel appreciated in the area of his presence, he becomes a version of a man that he can give you and still survive. And I promise you, you will not like that version. That version of him is silent, frustrated, sharp with his words, non-communicative, because he has to become something that he can survive in.
I think as human beings, everybody has a natural gift and a natural passion, but then you go outside and you get influenced and you feel pressure from what's going on outside. And so, you know, I read one time, like, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world? And that was powerful for me.
So I
say congratulations to all the girls in this world who are strong, who are confident, and yes, we have insecure moments, and that's okay. But guess what? You do something that millions of people would never be able to do if they had the opportunity, because it takes guts, it takes balls.
You don't feel strong every day, that's okay, and it's normal. And every day, something new can inspire you, and a small thought or idea or action can change the course of your day, your week, your month, your year. You're never alone, and you're never stuck, no matter how down you feel.
If you want something, if you have a passion in your heart, fire in your belly, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you getting up early. It's gonna be you staying up late. It's gonna be you running the miles and going to the gym and eating the kale and doing all the crap that you don't, it's only gonna be you.
Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
I want women to feel confident no matter what size they are, no matter what shade of nude they are, no matter what their personality is, what their race is, their religion is. I want women to feel confident and sexy because that's who we are and we deserve to feel like that.
Life is too short to sit anywhere other than where you're supposed to be. And if you're sitting at a table where you don't feel like you're being fed, even if you're bringing a plate of food, you politely just leave.
The decisions you make in life don't always define the person you become. I believe that every day when you wake up, you can decide how that day goes, and it doesn't have to be the same as the day before. Just think everything that you do helps you learn something. Everything's a lesson.
Life is like a boomerang. If you're good, good things will always come back to you. Think positively, speak positively. Nothing is impossible if you believe.
Following your dreams is never easy, really, because, you know, it's going to take work, and it's going to take dedication, and it's going to take focus, and it's going to take drive. But as long as you really love it, and you really want it, and you keep that laser focus, then nothing is impossible.
I have to have a great relationship with myself to have good relationships with other people. My friends, my romantic partners, my child, you know, my colleagues, like whatever. It's like, you can't have good relationships if you don't have a good one with yourself.
Please take care of yourself and be good to yourself and be nice to yourself. Don't take that extra step and hurt yourself further than you can, and you can't take it back.
Most of us, we live in a box, and we don't want to go outside that box at all, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. But what we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind that this is all I can do. This is all I'm good at. And we take away the possibilities of you can be this, you can be that, you can be all these things. What people understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself.
When you have the vision and you're able to manifest, but then you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic, that's where the magic is, but a lot of people never get there, unfortunately. A lot of people, we're blessed that we can dream.
You guys need to understand what you don't have to do. All right? You don't have to work hard, you don't have to eat right, you don't have to sleep right, you don't have to watch extra film, you don't have to do more than what's required of you, you don't have to be a good teammate, you don't have to be a good leader. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But you also don't have to win. You don't have to be a success in life. You don't have to help your team win. You don't have to do any. You don't have to play. No one has to play you. So the greatest things in life take sacrifice and discipline. And that's why so few people achieve great things. Because they don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to discipline something greater. So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to, it's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them. That's the truth. So don't get mad later when you created your whole storm and then it starts raining on you.
I have friends who run other organizations, and they're like, we posted 92% IRR. And I'm like, well, you can't eat IRR. What does it really mean? And when you unpack it, what you realize is like fast money returns can completely really decay long-term thinking and sound judgment. And so I'm like, wow, I would really love to just compound at 15% a year. And the reason is because if I can do that for 50 years, that's $250 fucking billion, like some crazy number. Like, it's just enormous. So it's like slow and steady against hard problems.
How did you stay motivated all the time? People ask me that all the time, and the answer is I didn't, and neither did you to become successful. The separator in life is really important. People think the most inspired, motivated person wins. Nah, not really. It's the person who can work on the days they're not inspired and motivated. It's what do you do when you're not feeling great? What do you do when it's not your best day? How do you do that? It carries you through as rituals and habits.
Everybody's great when they're not tired. The champions is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out. Because if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs eat. Let them on the fucking field. Have some heart. Do not give up. Do not feel like you tired. When you tired, think of last year and think of that fucking record. Every time I get tired or I think I can't go no more, I think of that fucking record. That ain't us. We can make it. We gotta believe. We gotta be mentally strong. When we tired, that's when we gotta put our fundamentals together. That's when we gotta be more focused. When we tired, look across the field and see how tired they are. That should give you more effort. Be like, I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna get fundamentally strong.
So of course there's things far more important than material things. I say this all the time because when you have money, people think, he has money, but he doesn't have anything else. You know, all he has is money. And I say, well, there's not much above money. You have love, right? Of the people who you care about and they care about you. You have health, because nothing's worth anything if you're dying, right? There's no point in being a billionaire if you're sick. And after love and health, what can't money buy? Isn't that number 3? Money is extremely important. Trying to say money doesn't matter is a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism that poor people have so they don't shoot themselves in the head. The smartest thing rich people ever did was come along and say to all the poor people, money doesn't make you happy. Don't worry, I'll keep all the money because it doesn't make you happy. Have you seen any of them give it away? You ever seen a rich man give his money away? No, they say money doesn't make you happy. You keep slaving away for minimum wage. I'll stay over here a millionaire, but I'm not happy.
Listen, you are a warrior. Don't ever let anybody take what you're supposed to get. When you're in the gym and you're out of shape, you don't look good. You don't look good. When you're learning something, when you go to school and they give you the grade and everybody's, he didn't do good. He got a D. You feel that hurt and you go, what you gonna do, never take a test? No! You get back up and you get what you are supposed to get.
So another year is come and gone, and a lot of us are in the same fucking place we were last year. What the fuck are you waiting on? We sleep 1/3 of our fucking lives, and we think we can take fucking days off. We think we have the right to sit back and give ourselves fucking options on which way we're gonna go in life. Am I gonna run today? Am I gonna work out today? Well, it's Christmas. It's New Year's. It's my birthday. Do you think time gives a fuck that it's Christmas, that it's New Year's, that it's your birthday? You're giving yourself too many fucking options. Let me tell you one thing. Time is running out. You keep on sitting around wondering what the fuck you want to do, you're just gonna run out of time. So make sure you do one thing. Stop following the fucking crowd. They may take time off, but you can't afford to. Stay hard.
You have to learn to take the negativity that people are going to put it on you. And you have to be able to take that energy and flip the switch and move into productive action. The only person that can stop you when you're able to do this is you. You are literally unstoppable by outside circumstances and outside elements.
Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been. Nothing's changed since the 70s. Nothing. Except people train not as hard.
You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do shit. Some guy who sat up in a nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids. And why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit. And still said and found out a way to get through it. We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all sort of shit so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent. I say it all the time. You have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain, so when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times. If you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times. Masculinity doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength. It means discipline.
Forbes said that you make 37 million a year. Is that true?
I'm not sure how much I make a year, to be honest. But I guess if you don't know how much money you make a year, that's a good news.
What do you spend it on?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Is that when I was poor, I had a lot of time to spend money, but I didn't have money. And now that I have money, I don't have time to spend it.
You have to tap into suffering every day of your life because we have so much scarring that we have to clean up. You have to look at suffering as almost like I look at failure. To succeed, you must fail. In failure and in suffering, all the answers are in there. All the answers to all the test questions. The test is your life. All the answers are in there. You don't have to live in suffering and pain and failure all the time. You have to learn, I need to visit it.
If you just worked out and actually were proud of your body at its purest form, naked in the mirror, right? You would have the highest level of confidence that no Rolex, that no filler, that no Jordans, nothing, that no Ferrari can buy.
I like being comfortable. Once you get used to it, it's hard to give up. I'd rather stay hungry.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
In life, people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. But when the purpose is intact, when the mission is intact, when it's about something greater than themselves, the opposition, the adversity, and the challenges are a part of the journey. When things happen in redirection, it's a part of the journey. It makes it even sweeter in the end when the purpose is greater and about something greater than you.
Look, I know I sometimes say or post strange things, but that's just how my brain works. To anyone I've offended, I just want to say I reinvented electric cars and I'm sending people to Mars in a rocket ship. Did you think I was also going to be a chill, normal dude?
Excuse me. Would you mind answering a quick question for a documentary I'm doing?
Sure.
The question's, are you happy?
Am I happy?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure I am.
Why?
Why? Because I'm alive. I'm here today and I'm alive. That's why.
If you had one message to tell the entire world, what would it be?
Calm down and live your life.
An introvert loses energy from social interaction. An extrovert gains energy from social interaction. So an introvert wakes up in the morning with 5 coins. Every social interaction, they spend a coin. At the end, they are depleted. An extrovert wakes up with no coins. Every social interaction, they get a coin, and by the end, they feel rich. Like going to a party, they gives them energy, versus going to a party sucks your energy. What I have learned is I have a big personality, but I'm still an introvert. So what I've learned is that it doesn't matter which one you are. The question is how do you leverage what you got, right? And so I go to parties with an extrovert, right? Because that way they can do all the talking and I can just stand there and just eat the cheese. But if you notice, I've learned to leverage what I have.
So we hang around people that make us feel better, that tell us what we want to hear, not what we need to hear. And so we stay away from those people. And we stay away from those people, like our internal dialogue becomes that kind, it's okay. It's not okay. So that's where it starts. It starts with that accountability of it's not okay anymore. This can no longer be okay. And calling yourself out for exactly what you are and exactly how you need to fix it. That's where it starts.
I'm really self-conscious about my music, and even if I do a good job, I always wonder, how I could have done it better. I rarely celebrate anything, and just for anyone watching this that's wondering how this happened, that's really the answer. It's being so unsure how you're getting it done that you just kind of keep going in the hopes of figuring out the formula. Just feeling so lucky and blessed that the fear of losing it keeps you up at night.
One time my mom said, you need to get a job. I said, I already have a job. I'm just not getting paid yet. Actually, I have a career.
That's a huge punchline.
Real stuff, man. I'm working on my dream. That's my job. If I'm gonna pay attention to my nightmare, I should be able to work on my dream. Well, one of them is gonna take my energy. I would rather give my energy to my dream than my nightmare.
The secret is there's certain times don't think. Like when you get up in the morning, don't think. Just roll out of bed, go in your life cycle, or go on a bicycle ride, or go to the gym, work out. You know that's what you have to do. And then read something and learn something. So don't even think about it. Yeah. But there's other times where you have to really think, and you really have to get creative and have a clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to do. And that's what I always had, and that's what I always believed in. I always believed in making money.
When I'm at restaurants, I am a big tipper. I like to show people my appreciation. So when they come up to the table, I say, the quicker I get my order, the bigger your tip will be, right? And then the food will come fast. And then when we get ready to leave, I'll ask them, how much you want?
You'll ask the waiter how much you want?
How much you want? And the most someone said was $4,000. And I said, okay, no problem.
You gave him $4,000? You should have punched him in the head is what you should have done.
What I did wasn't rocket science. For me as a kid, I had dreams bigger than anybody else could ever dream. I wanted to be the greatest. I wanted to be the best. When I went through a span of 5 or 6 years where I didn't miss a single day of training, 365 days a year, that made me different. I got 52 extra days each year than anybody else had. And in the sport of swimming, if you miss one day, it takes you 2 days to get back to where you were. Everybody else is taking a step back on Sunday when they weren't swimming, and I was taking that one step forward.
Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is not. And to this day, it's like this every single day because you're always pushing the envelope, right? And the purpose of an entrepreneur is to solve problems. So every day something happens and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. And you got to deal with it. And I also say entrepreneurship is the fast track to personal development. Because every day, right, you're facing something right here. It's like, oh man, and you can't back down from it. You gotta deal with it.
Can I ask you a question? I said, yes. How can you from this building jump this building? I said, more easy. Rolling camera, action, jump, hospital.
It's so easy to fall in the footsteps of others. To do what they do because you think it's the right way because you think they've had the success and you can copy that success. You have to find your own path. You have to find your own footsteps. An art student must be a master from the beginning. That is, he must be the master of such as he has. By being now master of such as he has, there's promise that he will be a master in the future.
To find your way in life is not an external search, it's an internal search. Because God equipped you the moment he gave birth to you. God equipped you at birth with what you needed. He gave all of you a gift, all of you. Every last one of you, you're gifted. God never created a soul without giving them a gift. All of you sitting in here were given a gift at birth. He put it inside you. You ain't got to look under the ocean. It ain't on the mountain. It ain't under no rocks. He put it in you at birth.
If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
When you feel like giving up, don't. When you thinking about giving up, don't. When it look like you ain't gonna make it, keep going. When they tell you you can't, come on, man, who are they? When they tell you to put all your stuff back on your desk, don't do that, man. Don't do that. When they tell you you're not funny, you're not gonna make it, don't believe them, man. Don't believe them. You got to be relentless. When they tell you
that you overexposed. Be relentless.
Those who are committed to being successful with whatever they're doing, one important aspect of their life is they're not settling down wherever it's a bit comfortable. Because comfort will happen when they lower you to in the grave, very comfortable you are, you know. Have you seen how comfortable they are? Once they're dead, if you throw them there also they're comfortable, if you lower them they're comfortable, even if you burn them.
I said, well, Daddy, what you want me to buy you? A new car? And my daddy always wanted a Cadillac, so I bought my daddy a Cadillac, remodeled my mama's whole house. It was embarrassing. She wanted brand new walnut paneling and brand new shag carpet. Who buy that? So that's what I ended up doing.
Hey, do you play basketball?
I used to.
Oh, you used to? I can beat you.
I want the house on the water. I want the nice car. I want the nice watch. I want to stay fresh. I want to stay clean. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. You should strive for greatness.
People got mad at me. They're talking about Steve Harvey prefers wealth over health. No, I'm just telling you. If your ass wants to hit it and be rich, you got to quit bullshit. You got to get your hustle and grind on. You can't sleep well, how much you sleep? I sleep between 4 and 5 hours. If I get 6 hours, woof, I'm tired. Plus, I'm old. I gotta get up. I want to see what today is. I can't miss nothing. I'm old, man. I'm 64 years old, so I can't be laying in the bed waiting. I gotta get up early. I'm up before the sun come up every day because I just want to see what else God got.
If there's people who have regular jobs who are coming out in the rain, in the snow, spending their hard-earned money to buy tickets to come to your shows, you don't need this right here. I promise you. You already won.
I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
I need a phone with a calculator. Do you have one, or should we borrow one?
Yeah, I got a phone.
You got one? Can we? Here, don't even unlock it. It's okay.
Don't unlock it.
Don't unlock it. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know if this is gonna work, but there it is. That's your phone, right there?
My ass.
If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a private plane, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't hate on me. Don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Everything about my life and career, I've earned it. Ain't nobody gave me shit. Nobody handed me nothing. If you want it, go get it.
I used to worry about tomorrow. I used to worry myself to death. I don't care. You know how many times they didn't cancel shows of mine? Every time they've canceled a show, God gave me another one. Every time. I got a talk show canceled and Little Big Shots canceled. They canceled the show. God gave me a Facebook watch show, paid me the same money in 2 weeks that I made in 34 weeks. What? You got to let God do what he do.
In less than 8 years, when I'm a millionaire by 25, I'll come shake your hand.
I promise you that statement itself made me 100% guarantee that you won't. If you really want to win and you want to come to New York in 8 years and shake my hand, here's what you need to do. You need to stop giving a shit about what anybody else has and realize that if you put your head down and just work for the next 10 years, no glamour, no new fucking car, suitcase, jewelry, trip, event, no Coachella, no fucking new fucking sneakers, like fucking work, you will have it. And every time you care about one of the things I just mentioned, it will slow down your process of having.
If I'm at a grocery store, if I give you 100 and your change is, you give me change, whoever's traveling with me, I give them all the change. If it's 20s, 10s, if it's $80 a change, I give it away. I don't want nothing except hundreds. because it's the law of attraction. I only want hundreds. That's the largest denomination bill. That's what I attract. So I attract hundreds because I don't want nothing else. It's the law of attraction. If you start putting your singles away, you'll stop attracting singles.
Single people just look better anyway. Like they glow, you know what I'm saying? You see them, their eyes are open, their vibes, and like, yo, what's up? What day is it today? Like, they just gas. Like, single people just look sick. You can tell when someone's in a relationship. You can see. You can see, man.
You can see it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can.
I used to see that stuff and be like, damn, am I not working hard enough? You know what I mean? And that's where I think people don't realize is that you wired differently. You know what I mean? If you win, you know what I mean? You expect to win. Mm-hmm. Right? Like some people, I don't know. Like it's the hard work until you just fall in love with it. Like waking up, training, you just, yeah, that's what I do.
Every human being has genius level talent. There are no chosen one. God is giving every single person genius level talent. You just have to find what it is that you're great at and then tap into it.
We have always focused on this ratio here of the number of engineers that we have to the size of the user base, like for the impact that they're going to have. And what we found is that each engineer here is roughly responsible for more than 1 million users. Right, if you do that calculation, that's much more than smaller companies that have smaller user bases but smaller employee bases, and much larger than larger companies that have maybe more users but also a lot more employees.
My parents were great. You know, growing up, they instilled in me the importance of imagination, of curiosity, and understanding that, okay, if you want to accomplish something, I'm not just going to sit here and say, yes, you can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can, but you have to also put in the work to get there, right? So they taught me that at a really early age, man. And when you grow up as a kid thinking that the world is your oyster, all things are possible if you put in the work to do it, you grow up having that fundamental belief.
What would winning mean to you? Are you kidding me? First of all, winning at any age is incredible.
Yeah, and your age is?
How old are you? 80.
What?
You're 80? I'm 80.
Oh my God. If I believe that I'm disabled, I would wither up. I would be shy. I would be insecure. I would be afraid. I would act like I need your help. And the rest of humanity would be okay with that. But I choose something else. I choose to be strong. I choose to be a leader. I choose to have words to move this planet. I'll tell you why I was born. And I hope it inspires you to find out why you were born. I was born to rid this world of insecurity.
Muhammad Ali worked his butt off. And I remember that there was a sports writer that was there in the gym when he was working out and he was doing sit-ups. And they asked him, how many sit-ups do you do? And he said, I don't start counting until it hurts. He doesn't start counting his sit-ups until he feels pain. That's when he starts counting. That is working hard.
Are you a billionaire yet, bro? Let's be honest. You're gonna be the YouTube's first billionaire. Yeah. Is it happened?
No. If I was, it'd obviously be paper. Like if we do one of these companies like Beastburger and stuff, because like actual cash, I'm probably the poorest person in this room. If I make $3-4 million a month, I just spend it on videos the next month. We literally like have razor thin margins and just reinvest it all.
Oh, you're spending $4 million on a YouTube video?
Well, $4 million a month on video.
My uncle always told me something early in my life, which stuck with me, which is that while you're on the journey, you have to disconnect from the end goal. You know, because if you're just focused on some end goal, then you might get there, but it'll be hard to progress past that because you're so focused on that one destination that it's like, you know, you maybe forget everything in between, and maybe you could have done more in between. He always told me, like, just be here right now, live right now, and do the best you can right now. Don't worry about what that end goal is. It's great to have goals, it's great to have dreams, but it's just like you get too attached to it, and sometimes it can be a self-destructive thing.
You know, I just feel everybody's situation is unique. I feel everybody's situation is different. You know, but most definitely you gotta think of tomorrow, you know, and not just today. So the decisions you make, you should most definitely consider long term, and I think that's the difference. Let's not be so short term on everything now. Let's be patient, on a lot of different things, and most definitely investing is one of them.
See, you have to keep going, because you just don't know when God is going to flip the switch. And he can't tell you when he's going to flip the switch, because it would destroy the one thing that he requires from you, faith.
The problem is we don't teach people how to lead, right? When you're very, very junior, we give people tons of training how to do their jobs. Some people get advanced degrees how to do their jobs so that they'll be good at them. And if you're really good at your job, we'll promote you. And eventually you get promoted to a position where you're now responsible for the people who do the job you used to do, and we don't teach you how to do that. So how can we expect people to be good at their jobs if we don't train them how to do it? Like, would you go see a doctor that didn't go to medical school? No. So why would we work for a leader who has no training in being a leader? That's why we get managers. That's why we get micromanagers. That's why we get toxicity. It's not because they're bad people. It's because they don't know what they're doing.